Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to RTO Track Titan GT3 Season 7. We're here for round number 3. It's Indianapolis. Slight change to the format, but no change to the commentary lineup. Myself, John Wright, aka Double O Raven, leading the way once again, and joining me once again it will be the inimitable Sarah Hockey. Good evening, Sarah.
Hello John, good evening everyone, pleasure to be here as always.
And the pleasure all ours having Sarah alongside us as we take you through all of the action from round number 3 from the RTO Track Titan Season 7. Track Titan is the easiest way to find how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to other drivers on their leaderboards or even your friends and community racers. Challenge your friends to get the fastest lap times at different track and car combos and see where you or they are the fastest to be number 1. The phenomenal sponsor providing not only prizes for the drivers but discounts for the viewers as well. The first, second and third place driver in each of the splits will receive an annual, a 6-month and a 3-month Track Titan Plus membership respectively. And for you viewers at home as well, you can get in on the action with the code RTO Titan at checkout, and we'll give you 1 month free of the Plus subscription and then 30% off your next month. So get yourself over to Track Titan, get signed up and get the telemetry you need to get faster out on track. Massive thanks to the sponsors. Massive thanks as well to RTO. What a season they've put on so far. Slight change in the format. We will now have 2 races this evening. All 3 splits will be appearing on track at once. We won't have the arm race to start. It'll be 2 25-minute races, a 20-minute qualifying session which will be broken down into 2 10-minute sessions. So that has changed. Some things have stayed the same. The ballast and of course my co-commentator this evening. And for the rest of the series, Miss Sarah Hockey. No doubt looking forward to this one this evening, Sarah.
I am, yes, and as John said, there is a new format to the race but not to the ballast. There are no pit stops required within this championship still, but the top 3 finishers in tonight's first race will have a success ballast applied for the race 2 of tonight, and it goes as follows: 30 kilograms for first place, 20 kg for second and 10 kg for third. The then top 3 from race 2 of this evening will have a ballast added next week for Alton Park.
Yes, indeed. So we will see, as I say, 2 races this evening. So the arms are now on a slightly longer season. They were getting 1 race an evening. They're now getting 2 races this evening. They will be on with the arms, with the pros and the silvers as well. Just looking, that is frozen ever so slightly. Here we're going to have a look at the arm standings, Sarah, and thanks to the benefit of the drop round, it actually could not be any closer up at the top of the championship.
Yeah, it's very close at the moment. Currently in first place we have Lindner on 45 points and joint with Raiden Shogun on also 45 points. So very close at the top of the field. Then in third place we have Obieta on 39. Woodcock on 34 in fourth place. Brian Bond in fifth on 30 points. Our last season's AM champion Daniel Zlatnik in sixth currently with 30 points also. Blythe in seventh place on 27 points. Baz O'Neill on 27 points as well in eighth place. In ninth place we have Ilsley on 26, and rounding out the top 10 is Samson on 19 points. So yeah, very close across the field currently.
It is indeed, yeah, and with that drop round, as Sarah and I were having a chat before the stream, it's not bad for Raiden Shogun there. His drop round is currently a second versus Lindner's 8th place. That's not a bad drop round to have in the pocket. In the silvers, oops, That has escaped me. Of course it has. In the silvers, it's Nick Cooper who is leading the way. Now, the drop round has kicked in kind of differently here. It's taken both races from one round, so we'll see if these standings, I did mean to double check this, but I'm sure these standings are accurate, but I'm sure it's only supposed to be one race that's dropped, because I'm sure each round is a full points scorer. But in the silvers at the minute is Nick Cooper, Fabrizio Butera and Tom Solis leading the way. Solis, though, only 3 points ahead of Emmanuel Raji, Stuart Pryor, Richard Gasson and Marcel Schneepman, and all within 20 points of 4th place as well. So still very close there at the start. Ryan McCord 8th, Andrew Priadko and Daniel Facina rounding out the top 10. Facina and Priadko on 40 points each, only 3 points separate McCord and Schneepman. Schneepman with that 13th place drop round 1 race 2. But other than that, the two of them, very similar results indeed. The drivers are just about to get some warm-up laps underway, so we'll get a quick look at the pro standings. There we go, it is Paul Sidlowski. My hot tip for the season, he did get a race win, and it's funny, I was actually speaking to Joe before the stream, and I said jokingly, as happy as I was for Paul winning, I was almost sad, because I did say before the season, if he wins this championship without winning a race, don't be surprised. Well, he's won a race and he's leading the championship, 4 points ahead of Watts and Watson, who are inseparable on 75, and only 2 points ahead of Liam Page, who is only 2 points ahead of Sigurd Revsig, who, guess what? That's right, 2 points ahead of Matt Whitburn. Whitburn does break the trend. He's only got a point separating himself from Ben Nergard. James Whittaker, we can see there, 2 7ths and 2 6ths, 48 points. Bit adrift, but still plenty of racing to come. As we can see, the drivers are out on track. And after some thorough investigations, and a certain broadcaster by the name of Double O Raven realising that he hadn't clicked a button, can confirm we do now have some liveries. They will look stunning around what is an absolutely incredible track. You want to talk about steeped in history? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Indianapolis. Sarah, this one, I mean, yeah, the absolute upper echelons of racing royalty, this track, it's safe to say.
I've definitely got to agree. There is a few other venues on the planet that can match the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for, like you said, its history, spectacular, and sheer speed. A lot of S's in that sentence there. Hallmark since its earliest days, while the famous Indianapolis 500 still remains one of the world's greatest races, filling each May with a sense of drama and intrigue. The Indianapolis Speedway was first opened on the 12th of August 1909, over 114 years ago. A modern infield road course was constructed between 1998 and 2000. It used part of the oval and the infield to create a 2.6 mile or 4.12 kilometre track. The Indianapolis nickname, the Brickyard, dates back to the Speedway's early days. Its original dirt surface produced so much dust during its inaugural meeting in 1909 that founder Carl Fisher decided to pave his new circuit with 3.2 million bricks for the following season. The track was paved in 1939, but a yard of bricks remains at the start line to this day.
Indeed, yeah, pretty much the most famous bricks in all of motor racing. They actually recently took a core sample from the track, and it's incredible to see the layers that have been layered upon layer of road racing, motor racing history. Some gratuitous camera time for Daniel Zlatnik. He had very good reason to be reminding broadcaster Raven that the liveries needed to be fixed, and yeah, we will We'll have a quick look. We won't even mess about because Daniel, of course, Team Snail, some phenomenal liveries last season. As we can see, he's got the flames right up on the wheel arches. Flinth Designs, Flinth. Not only huge shout out for the liveries, but first in chat again this week for the races. Phenomenal to see. And one of the reasons he was so keen for me to see the livery is because beautifully parked on the back of the car. Hello, Raven. That's me. So there you go. You've absolutely got to love it. Okay. Well, we're about to talk about the new format there, but the new format has got a new format. So the new format to the new format is Linksy had temporarily grown a heart and given the drivers a whole 10 minutes for a qualifying session. But he's messed up setting up the server, so it's back to 8 minutes each. You've absolutely got to love the generosity of the man. But yeah, so 10 minutes each for 8 minutes each, which means it will be the Arms and the Silvers who go out on track first, and then it will be the pros as we are seeing some times coming in. It is a great livery. Actually, bear with me a second. We're just going to quickly sort something in the background. There we go, so just sorting out some, doing all the new line there, not sure that's quicker indeed. So let's have a look, let's get back in the game. We're just sorting some stuff out in the back end, but we're seeing some times coming in, so let's go through that. RG Motorsports, it's Richard Gasson leading the way in the Lambo. Stuart Pryor, king of the Budweisers, he's almost king of the Silvers at the moment, half a second down though. Emmanuel Raji, MPSS, hopefully we can get their livery uploaded for next week. There is DRTN in fourth with Paul Whitburn. Then is Ryan McCord for RTO. The RTO Track Titan livery is looking phenomenal. I'm so glad they're working. Raiden Shogun, another one that I was going to question as well actually. So Raiden Shogun as well, joint leader in the championship, first and second so far, and ahead of a couple of the Silvers at the minute, Priadko being one of them. Another livery that is worth a quick look. That is an absolute cracker. That'll certainly stand out in a night race, that is for sure. Then we've got Chris Wilson. It's easy for you to say, Mr. Referee. From Wilson Sim Racing, another phenomenal looking livery. It's great that these are all working. And that the broadcaster who was casting aspersions on people's uploading skills hadn't actually pressed the follow button. There it is for Tech. For Morgan Motorsports, got Facina for Libra as well. Can confirm another stunning livery. Oh, a stunning save as well there by Danielle. Facina getting it done on camera. We've got Brian Bond for Bond Racing. Baz O'Neill. Alpha Dog Meat, of course. Why? It's taken me a while to get those two to stick together. We've got Blythe for Spartan Racing, his livery fully working as well, and Leonardo Fangero in the pits. It does look like confusion for myself, actually. Oh no, so that's the silvers that are in the pits. Sorry, the silvers and pros are in the pits. The silvers and the AMs are in the pits. There's Dan Watts out on track. I'm absolutely losing my mind at this point. Let's bring up the qualifying though. For the AMs and the silvers. In the AMs, it was Shogun that took the top spot. With 1 minute 36.637, 23 hundredths ahead of Wilson. 30 kilograms of ballast, not making a dent in the Mercedes' ability to get it on to the top spot. Let me know how the audio is actually. It's, if that is a bit quiet game-wise, let me know. We can certainly pimp that up a bit. Zlatnik, returning champion, in third, just ahead of Nige Woodcock, carrying the 10 kilograms of ballast from last week. Acuity, Bond, O'Neill and Blythe, all set in times 2.5 seconds off the AM pace. In the silvers, it was Gasson and Raji locking out the front row. Half a second separating them though, with only a tenth separating Raji from Pryor. So quite the lap time there for Gasson in the silver champion, the silver class. Sorry. We have Whitburn in fourth, ahead of McCord and Priadko, Fouquet and Facina. Row 4 for the silvers, and Fangero starting in ninth. As we can see, Fangero right down in 17th position, but Raiden Shogun managing to get 4 silvers behind him despite the 30 kilograms of ballast. Easy to see why he's had a first and a second and is hot favourite to win the AM Championship. He will be a welcome recruit to the Silver Championship. We're seeing the pros starting to put some times in as well, so we'll see how they are going. And it is Matt Whitburn. He's had a good start to the season so far and had a good end to last season. The cameraman, not a big fan of Matt for some reason, but there he is again. In the McLaren, we're at 34.9. Ben Nergard with an almost identical time to Gasson, with Watson 3 tenths behind. Let's get a proper look at that. This is John Watson. We're on board with Paul Sidlowski, championship leader, milliseconds behind Sidlowski. Liam Page in 7, very close. There are two drivers, 8 tenths, and yeah, as I say, what is that, 23 hundredths separating Watson and Sidlowski. Sorry, but it's a big fan of phenomenal liveries and that colour blue. I think we should take a bit of a moment to appreciate the liveries that the RTO Track Titan team have come up with. These are phenomenal. Excellent way to do it. Give the whole team the effectively the same livery, but a different colour for each driver. Absolutely pops and looks incredible. If you didn't see the start of the broadcast, please at the end make sure you go back and watch the opening highlights. The Conrod Straight with 4 or 5 of the RTO cars and another couple of cars mixed in looks absolutely incredible. Season 6 and Season 7 all available, of course, on the RTO Esports channel. So phenomenal thank you to everyone that subscribed, followed and watched all of the content. I know the intro videos that Refs does are phenomenally well received as well, because they are incredible. So thank you again to everyone. If you do want to get involved in the race, I think my beautiful secretary Joe Boyle will very shortly game us a little quiet. Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. Oh. Yeah, but there'll be some links in the chat very shortly. Yeah, you're right. The game is phenomenally quiet, actually. I don't understand why. Yeah, maybe something in the new update has changed some of the settings. I will have a proper look, but yeah, do please let me know how we're getting on. Is that a bit better? Oh, Flint, I absolutely did. Absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. Raiden is working for me. Oh, I literally resynced it before the race started. But yeah, I can back out and jump back in again. That's absolutely no problem at all. Yeah, we could do that between races. Yeah, I'll have enough time to back in and out. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I will look into the audio as well after qualifying. So I'll bring up the trailer that I was just talking about. The ref sig done, and yeah, I'll see if I can fix the audio because that is strange. And I do end up getting fixated on these things, which I really shouldn't do. Let's fixate on the on-track action. It is Watts. And there we go, Sigurd Revsig, never too far from his teammate Watts. Half a tenth separating them once again in qualifying. Old habits really do die hard, and with these two, it really is going to be habitual to qualify and race right next to one another. You can count on one finger the number of times the two of them have made contact in a race as well, or certainly that I presided over, that's for sure. Lap after lap after lap of just absolute consistent genius from the two of them. As Whitburn crosses the line for the last time. That's his qualifying antics done. So too is Watts. It's all down to Revsig, who's coming into the final sector now. Yeah, Whitburn with yeah, absolutely storming time. Revsig doesn't go any quicker, sorry, can't improve on his time. So that is that one done and dusted. So we can see it is Whitburn with two purple sectors. Watson in the BMW takes a purple sector as well. Watts, 30 kilograms of extra weight, 2/10 down. Shogun and Wilson will be in a great fight in the arms. Yes, they will actually. They've got Priadko right next to them. But yeah, those times very close as well. But it's Whitburn, Watts and Revsig. With Sidlowski sneaking onto row number 2 there. I didn't notice that. He did get ahead of Watson and Nergard. Gasson ahead of Liam Page in the Ferrari. That is that's quite the feather in the cap. To finish ahead of Page. He is an absolute talent, to say the least. But what we'll do, yeah, let me just pop this up, and I believe we've got Sarah back with us, do we?
Yes, you do.
Yes, we do.
Just loading in now.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me quickly bring that up, and I will check the in-game audio options just to make sure. That's set to gaming. We'll maybe put the master up a bit. Yeah, they've maybe changed the audio profiling slightly, but that should still sound exactly the same. We do love these audio glitches. We do love these audio glitches. But 30 seconds, it is the short starts. They'll only have a few corners to go through. before we see them getting underway, let's get that there. But yeah, once again, Sarah, as expected, the racing action and qualifying that we've seen so far this season couldn't really get much closer, and we're once again seeing differences of a quarter of a tenth of a second between some of these drivers. And around Indianapolis, which does promote a decent bit of overtaking, this could be 25 minutes of the best racing that we're ever going to see.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, everyone's close together, which we like to see. Always entertaining, and I've got to say I'm excited to see how everyone does around a track like this.
Yeah, nice wide open spaces, some nice tight turns. Turn 1, of course. Yep, it is a tricky one, that full 90 degrees to the right and then almost straight 90 degrees to the left again. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm also very excited that we've got all the liveries working as well. They do look absolutely incredible. A lot of drivers, so Sarah's going to keep an eye on the AMs down at the bottom of the pack. I'll keep an eye on what's going on in the pros and the silvers. There's the green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, and it's flying into turn 1 as Revsig looks for an early move on Whitburn. Whitburn caught napping at the start. Is he going to lose 2 positions to the RTO tour? And in fact, it's Paul Solowski going to go right round the outside in the Audi. He's left more than enough space. He might actually compromise his own exit speed there. Oh, and Whitburn moves over. There was a slightest bit of contact there. Solowski more than generous with the amount of room that he left, and Jordan Watson has now made his way sailing on through. The positions have been cleverly redressed there, but as Matt Whitburn, who is down to second position, and Jordan Watson taking absolutely no prisoners, while Paul Sidlowski, again overly generous in the opening exchanges, finds himself wanting for pace as Liam Page has to back out of it ever so slightly. Emmanuel Raji for MPSS trying to make moves on the other Whitburn, Paul Whitburn. Making moves there as well. Dan Watts leading the way. Matt Whitburn in second. Revsig in third. Watson in fourth. Sidlowski in fifth. I'm going to dare to go right back to the start again so we can see this from Forbidden Chase. In fact, let's watch this from Jordan Watson Forbidden Chase cam just so we can see exactly what happens here. So we're on the back. Watson, oh, a bit of a wiggle there. Tried to leave room. Oh, and he had a wiggle on the inside, so Sidlowski had a bit of a move there on the back of the car, and that's just cost him all the pace in the world. He's found himself on the outside line. Teammate in the Merc there, Ben Nergard, trying to take advantage of that, and Liam Page could see that he was floundering as well. Almost falls him off and switches gas on. Then it is the Mercedes that has a bit of a wiggle on exit, lets the Audi slot back into position. Page thought there was 2 positions there for taking, and Richard Gasson must have thought to himself, I'm having me another couple of pros here. Nothing doing there so far, and it is Watts. What a start Watts has got in all this, by the way. Let's jump on and have a look into the infield section, and I just did say, by the way, and we've jumped back on. Let's jump back into not that camera please, that camera please. There is Watson. Whitburn is catching up. Page taking the fastest opening laps, and Sidlowski taking an absolute tumble. He's now down to 9th place overall. He's got the podium for the silvers and the lead arm driver ahead of him at the moment. Oh no, he doesn't, sorry. That's Rain Shogun's just dropped down the order. Rain Shogun has just taken an absolute tumble down the order. He's lost it at some point in the lap, sorry. So Rain Shogun is down as well while we were watching the replay. Sarah, bring us up to date. Did you catch what was going on with the arms, hopefully?
No, I didn't quite catch what was going on in the AMs, as I'm still loading in, unfortunately. But I was watching the timing tower, and yeah, like you said, Raiden Shogun made up quite a few moves there, getting him to 8th place overall, and then took a tumble just then. So he's keeping on the back of some of the pros and silvers, so I wouldn't
Yeah, Sarah's mic being a bit underwater. She'll lose into the server, so we'll come back to her as soon as she is in and running again. Dan Watts, he is definitely running, but so too is Matt. Took pole position. Whitburn, as we can see, over Watts' rear spoiler. That gap down to 0.8 of a second. Whitburn took the fastest lap in lap number 2. Revzig still in third place in these three. A second and a half separating them with 3.8 seconds. Behind them, it's Liam Page, who's absolutely carved his way through the field. As I say, those the two pros, Sidlowski and Watson, tumbling down the order. We will, of course, play the full highlights from both races at the end of the broadcast, so please do stay about. We're not going to catch up with everything that happened there. What we do know is, though, Watson and Sidlowski down the order. This puts them 5th and 6th, and they've got Gasson, Raji and Whitburn, who is leading the way in the silvers. So one Whitburn dropped down, one Whitburn went up. One of them's leading their section, one of them isn't leading their section, but they are on a charge. We've got Pryor picking up a penalty in the opening exchanges. He's also picked up a Daniel Zlatnik in his slipstream. Bathurst, a very cruel race for a lot of drivers last week. Not many made it to the end. The ones that did got themselves some very good points indeed. Right down the order, we've got Brian Bond still running with Baz O'Neill. Fouquet was in the chat saying he hasn't had much practice time. He's a bit rusty, and that's certainly playing out on track at the minute. The Porsche silver driver down 22nd place overall. Sigurd Revzig 1.1 seconds down the road now as he sees his teammate coming under all of the pressure. It is Matt Whitburn. 2 laps left for that drive-through. The snail, spoon-fed badger, the snail livery is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, Craig Winter, correct. The RTO liveries look so good. Love the same. But they've all got their own unique colours, as that was very nearly the baby blue of DRTN added to the golf green of the RTO BMW there. Whitburn doing phenomenally on the brakes, and I think that just goes to show you how much more pace he's got. He did set a good qualifying time. Shows for a move there. I think we all know he wasn't going to go for that, as he put, Watts having a bit of a moment there in the BMW. Is he actually feeling the pressure? Oh wow, when he's put 2 wheels on that grass there, that is not the quickest way around that corner. It won't cool the tyres any either, can confirm. No acceleration either. Off the rear spoiler, Revzig is being dropped in the Porsche, while Watts is dropping the track limits left, right and centre, trying to fend off Whitburn. Again, the BMW looking a bit slidey on exit. We've still got what appears to be a 5-way battle as well, with Shogun being chased by McCord, Nergard, Wilson, Pryor, Priadko and Zlatnik leading that group of, leading the then group of Chargers with the QE and Vicina. We've got Fouquet just behind O'Neill. In fact, he's just put a move on O'Neill. That's the silver going past the pro. We'll see what happens with Whitburn onto the first corner there. Really throwing it on that curb. That's going to give Watts a bit of a gap. Nergard in for a drive-through from race control after a contact in lap 1. Pryor in for a drive-through as well. Priadko picking up a 10-second penalty. And yeah, we've got some technical issues there, so we'll just crack on. Sarah having some issues with her internet and things, it seems, but we'll get her back as quickly as possible. As we keep watching the action, as I say, still plenty going on down through the field. Braden Shogun really entrenched in a battle as well. It's Ryan McCord in the silvers that he's got ahead of him. McCord looking second and fourth. McCord fourth in the silvers. There's a lot going on here. Braden Shogun still leading the way with Chris Wilson within a second, so he'll be keen to get past McCord if he feels he's got the pace. Priadko there with that 10-second penalty. That's going to be very costly come the end of the race. There is Fangero being overtaken by Fouquet. Fangero, they're just running ever so slightly deep through turns 8 and 9. and finds himself losing out on the infield section. He may well come back on Baz O'Neill. Not too far behind either. He's got a good view of the battling Porsches. He's also got fellow and Brian Bond in the McLaren, another one of the drivers that certainly felt the full force of the walls at Bathurst. Good to see him back out in Indianapolis. That post battle still taking place. Still Watts and Whitburn dueling out for the top honours in the pros. Gasson and Raji battling out for second and third, as Paul Whitburn still leads the charge in the silvers. There we can see just how close that's Watson and Sidlowski, and Watson's gone past Sidlowski. Sorry, he was ahead of Sidlowski. But yeah, they're down 8th and 9th. They are 5th and 6th in the pros for those two, Whitburn, Raji and Gasson. As I say, the battling silvers, the podium battlers for the silvers part directly in front of them, so it's an interesting prospect for those two. Dan Watts still got Whitburn pressing the buttons there. The top three, of course, race number 2, which will take place directly after this one. There will be again the ballast added. So if you finish first, you get 30 kilograms, second you get 20 kilograms. Oh, and the Porsche's going for an 18th and 19th position. Fangero, and forget, this is for points, and that looked like one of them was out on the gravel there trying to avoid the contact between the two of them. That was Fouquet. Let's have another look at this one. Some full-blooded racing from the both of them. Fouquet getting a good, he took that really good entry there. He got a good run through these two corners. As you can see, Fangero runs far too wide there, and the Porsche on the inside. He ends up over on the marble. Wow. Okay, that is a bit lively there by Fangero, I would say. Potentially that'll get looked at, but yeah, certainly overly defending his position. I think it's safe to say there. Fangero, he's been given a drive-through. Yeah, so there we go, been given a drive-through penalty, has Fangero. We've got Watson still trying to get past the Gasson, the silver driver still battling for their podium positions, as Whitburn once again gets to within 0.3 of a second. So they're within 0.3. Sidlowski and Watson are still absolutely hammer and tong as well. The BMW and the Audi chasing the McLaren. It's Raji, and they've got ahead of Gasson and McCord actually, so they've made moves there, so the two of them have got through. Let's see if we can catch that. We will indeed catch it. So there's Gasson, who was already down to third in the silvers. Oh, they've gone side by side. Up ahead now is the BMW. Oh, so they came together. So that's what happened. Whitburn came together, and we've got somebody who's taken the long way back on the track, Gasson. So Gasson took the long way back on. Whitburn and Gasson made contact. That put the two pro drivers, Whitburn and Sidlowski, through, and that's put Matt Whitburn out of contention for the race lead in the arms, I would say. Manuel Raji now up there. Jordan Watson and Paul Sidlowski ahead of Gasson and McCord. And Rain Shogun, all the action, all the time, right through the field. Drive through for a lap one, it seems to be a tad elbows out. Fangero, I think that'd be the Fangero move. I'm going to be honest, that did seem a wee tad elbows out. I'm not sure he left enough room for the driver on the outside. There's some pretty good battles for position across the grid. You love to see it. Indeed you do, Pedro. You absolutely do. Confirmation that drive through for lap 1 incident. And we've missed an overtake for the lead of the race, and we've massively missed it there. Whitburn's got it done, and got it done in some style over a minute ago. How did I miss that one? Whitburn did look a lot quicker, it has to be said. He was getting to within 0.3 of a second at will, and it looked like he was really having to work to avoid contact in the back of Watt's car in the braking zone. But yeah, Whitburn, he's now in the lead. Revsig still in third. Page up to fourth. Great race for Page. And there goes Watson and Sidlowski making their way past Emmanuel Raji. And in fact, this is a tough one for Sidlowski. He's got two wheels on the grass. He's managed to hold that. Raji, he's not going to have a good line through here though. Oh, and the Audi actually struggling to hold on to that one. Some dust kicked up from the BMW ahead. Gasson got a VIP front row seat to the battle that's unfolding, as you can see. No, you can't see, so we've missed that overtake there. But Gasson is now behind Raji, who is still leading the way in the silver. Sidlowski now in 6th place, and Watson in 5th. Still those positions in the pros, of course, but now that positions, those positions on track as well. Let me just check and see. Do we have Sarah back again? Oh, kind of back. Okay, we'll bring you back on. I tell you what, let me just see. I'll leave you muted just now. So everything okay? Give me a quick rundown of what's going on. Oh, right, okay. Okay, yep, so just give me a shout in my ear once you've got yourself fully back in, and we'll get you back in. Yeah, no problems at all. Yeah, Sarah having some technical issues. Have you ever heard the likes, a streamer having some technical issues? It's just such a rarity. But yeah, we'll get Sarah back in very shortly to help us cover all the action, and good luck with that. I think even with the two of us, we're going to need multiple sets of eyes and ears all over the track. Paul Whitburn now down at the back of the field. Fangero in the pit serving that drive-through with Pryor just ahead of Whitburn. Then it is Blythe in the arms with Ben Nergard. Apologies for that audio glitch. I can assure you I jumped as much as anyone else did. I have no idea what causes that, but it seems to be that when you're in spectator mode, every now and again you do hear that massive explosion, so apologies. I do come very close to swearing, the absolute fear. Nope, never happens to me, says Linksay, ever. Yep, nose is now very long. Oh, indeed. Yeah, all the fun in the fair. So, Linksay, that's an audio glitch that I keep getting on. Yeah, I keep getting it in the game. I get it every now and again. It just seems to be once a race. Bizarrely, that massive explosion, and yeah, I have lost weight and hair thanks to that ban. It keeps you on your toes, so yeah, I have no idea what it is. It's so bizarre, but it's happened on so many broadcasts, during so many races now, that it's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. We've still got a battle here, actually. Acuity now finds himself ahead. No, sorry, he's behind. Well, so it's Facina. Sorry, it's Facina in the silvers who's losing position. Oh no, he's back up again. Sorry, he's got himself ahead of Zlatnik. Indeed, it is. Who do I send the cleaning bill to? Says Spoon-Fed Badger. Kunos Audio Department. To be fair, and the thing is, Links, as well, as you know, you've got the same headphones as me. I've got the game feed directly into my ears. So you guys were getting that processed and dimmed slightly, I can assure you. And yeah, ow. Yeah, it's definitely not good for the eardrums. That is for sure. So yeah, it's definitely something that Kunos need to work on. But anyway, Matt Whitburn, he doesn't need work on anything. There's equilibrious gaps separating the podium up at the top of the field. Whitburn, Watts and the Revzig 1, 2, 3 and 2 seconds exactly separating the three of them out. Liam Page up to 4th position. Great race he's having, and he's not going to have any ballast for race number 2 tonight. That does put him in a very, very, very good position indeed. Baz O'Neill's having a good fight. Let's have a look at that one. Baz O'Neill and Brian Bond, phenomenal. We've got the extra eye in the sky. Yeah, Baz O'Neill, the arms usually do have some good battles as well. Brian Bond only 3/10 off the back there, and a QT as well on the back of Priadko. That one looking pretty good, and any excuse to put Priadko's livery on stream. Oh, and he's going to go past the Porsche. Where is that Porsche from? Is that? Oh, that's one of the drive. That's Fangero just out of the pits after his drive-through penalty. There we go. Hence my confusion. But Baz O'Neill still holding on to the position at the minute. He's got Brian Bondo certainly looking to improve. So too Richard Gasson, undeterred by the fact that it's one of the pro, in fact the pro champion ahead of him. Gasson really looking to improve on his position and get ahead of pro leader Sidlowski. You are in. Perfect. Let's get Sarah back in. There we go. Well, as I'm sure you've heard, Sarah, we've had some absolutely incredible amounts of action so far, and we've still got a fair bit to come. Sparky saying, go on, Baz. Yeah, he is having a good race, and in fact, Ben Nergar's now got himself ahead. Let's see. Oh no, you're not. You're okay, Joe. Thank you very much for the offer, but no, it would appear the. But if our laptop does give up again, yeah, we'll give you a shout, and we'll get you in. Because of course we've still got qualifying and race number 2 to come with the ballast, and the way it's been shaping up. It looks like Matt Whitburn is going to be getting that 30 kilograms of ballast with Watts and Revzig. Still in second and third. Down at the back of the field, Blythe, and let's see Baz O'Neill. Let's bring him back up on stream. Bond now back ahead of Nergard. So Nergard having some issues there. Oh, I missed something there. Brian Bond, Baz O'Neill. And Shogun, Raiden Shogun, yeah, back in the lead of the arms. All penalties cleared, there we go. And half a second behind Ryan McCord in the silvers. McCord looking to hang on to that podium position. And yes, Sarah, we'll let you acclimatise yourself with the grid as it's happening. Although down at 19th and 20th there, if you keep an eye on that and let me know how Bond and Nergard are getting on. In fact, oh, Baz O'Neill, in fact, we'll just jump straight on board with this because Nergard has just gone past Bond, so he's now separating the two of them again. So we'll see. Oh, he's gotten out the way almost, or did he run a bit deep there? Whatever happened, it has let the Mercedes through. Oh, and it's brought Brian Bond right onto the rear spoiler of Baz O'Neill, so seconds out, round 17 between these two. Nergard off into the distance after his drive-through penalty. Oh, and that's a big moment there by Baz. He's run a bit deep there, and that's going to let Brian Bond sail right round the outside. He's going to have his choice of lines on his way into the infield section. O'Neill far too late on the brakes there. He's not going to be able to keep that enough between the Mayo and the Mustard to keep the car moving. And Brian Bond, wily campaigner, saw that one coming, held his line, and O'Neill has now given himself the chasing role as Brian Bond has given himself 20th position and 5th in the arms. So some good action there with Sidlowski and Radzi. Oh, look at this now. Gasson looking to get himself in the lead of the race. Can he use the diversion that is the Pro Championship leader Paul Sidlowski making his way through? There is the nose of Radzi. He's got the inside line. He's got the big sausage curve when he's in tight. To contend with the pro leader is ahead of them. Radzi's run it a bit deep. He's cut that corner a bit wide. He's come back over the side of Gasson there, and that is an unfortunate one. Again into forbidden chase cam. It is a good camera for analysis. Now, as you can see there, very good. Oh, and he's just let the back of the Lamborghini go, so that's what happened. Again, Radzi looking to force the driver as far over so he can get as much corner time as he can. The Lamborghini's through, the McLaren slightly unsettled. Yeah, he definitely could have stayed on the inside a little bit there, maybe just slightly not judging the distance, thought he could get himself directly in front of the car ahead, and not to be. So you might have only got in for the last 6 minutes, Sarah, but the drivers certainly didn't, they weren't stingy on the overtaking action early doors. Still plenty to come, and I was about to hand over and see if there was anything you're looking at, but if you are, I'm guessing it's Shogun and McCorden 8th and 9th.
Yes, I was keeping an eye on them. The gap came right down to those two, and Shogun showing that he might just be an AM, but he's willing to fight with the silver and the pros.
Yeah, he is. Like you say, that gap has come massively down between these two. McCord up to second though, with Raji dropping by the wayside after that unfortunate contact. It is now McCord who finds himself in second position. So even if Shogun does go past, McCord still brings home a second place. And that's going to be in about a minute and a half. That's 25 minutes of racing done. Wow, that is 23 minutes 45 seconds of racing. Well, there we go. I didn't even clock when you said there was 6 minutes left. That is the quickest 25 minutes I've ever presided over. That is insane. We're still going to see potential on-track overtakes as the leader is on the final lap. Matt Whitburn across the line, and look at the top three. Absolutely procession stuff from them here at Indianapolis. It's Whitburn leading the way, leading Watts and Revzig. The RTO2 Merck looking strong, our Shogun driving really well. If there's one thing, Linksay, definitely a master of understatement there, sir. Master of understatement. Very good drive. Chris Wilson as well. He's only 3 seconds down the road. He's keeping pace. He's ahead of Raji and Priadko. Going to be a good overall finish, but certainly Shogun looking to get it done and get himself that 8th place overall. Would be quite the feather in his cap to finish behind all but one silver for the arm driver. We better make sure we catch Whitburn crossing the line. Almost missed Sidlowski crossing the line last time out because of all the action on the last lap, but only a few corners left to go as Whitburn in the McLaren wins himself 30 kilograms of ballast for race number 2. He will get a full haul of points, of course the qualifying as well, into the final sector. So easily mistaken for turn 1. No mistakes for Whitburn. Slightly bogged down on the line, if we're being honest. He really struggled off the line. Had to retake the lead of the race, but retake it he did, and he's got himself 2.9 seconds of a lead, and the first driver to take the checkered flag at round number 3, race 1. Matt Whitburn, DRTN Racing, taking the win. Dan Watts and Sigurd Revzig, the RTO2, as I affectionately call these two, rounding out the podium, with Liam surely hot favourite to win round race 2 because he's got no ballast. Page crossing the line in 4th position, then comes Watts in 5th, Sidlowski in 6th, then Richard Gasson, winner in the silvers. And Ryan McCord did succumb to Raiden Shogun. Raiden Shogun in the last few corners did get the overtake done. Well, yes, you know what, executive decision. Let's watch the replay of that one as other drivers, everyone else is still crossing the line. Let's see where Shogun got it done. Oh wow, McCord must have made a mistake. This is in the final few corners. Am I looking at this correct? Shogun did. McCord moved over and let him through. McCord moved over and let him through, so there we go. It wasn't actually the overtake. Whitburn winning again in RTO, looking to get himself P1 in Championship. Indeed he is. But Shogun 8th overall. We've still got some drivers crossing the line. That was Daniel Zlatnik. Team Awesome livery. Still out on track. Got a few other drivers crossing the line. We'll bring you the results in a moment. Once Baz O'Neill crosses the line, we've got Paul Whitburn. He'll be crossing the line as well. But there is our race winner. Not sure what's going on with P. Whitburn. Right, so let me just grab the highlights, hopefully. Yep, thank you. And then we will bring you the results. And then I'll do a quick refresh. In the arms, it was Raiden Shogun strengthening his charge for championship glory. with a race win. Wilson in second and Cutie third. Zlatnik fourth with Woodkit, Bond fifth and sixth. O'Neill in seventh and Blythe in eighth place. In the silvers, it was Gasson and McCord first and second, as we saw. Raji in third. Facina, Priadko and Fouquet fourth, fifth and sixth position. Pryor in seventh. Fangero in eighth. And Paul Whitburn says he didn't cross the line, so we'll see what happens there. And in the pros, it was Whitburn and Watts wandering off into the distance and giving themselves the race win and second. Revsig in third, Page fourth, Watson fifth, and Sidlowski in sixth. Ben Nergard did finish the race, so he'll be seventh place in the pro category. That's Sarah. I know you didn't see much of the race yourself, but from what you heard and what you did see at the end, round 3, race 1, living up to all the hype and the racing standards that we've seen so far in the series.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. If that was a race, you didn't want to miss it, but unfortunately I did miss quite a few of the bits of action, but I was listening and watching along, so I didn't thankfully miss too much. But yeah, definitely not a race to miss.
Indeed, no. And what a series it's been so far. Of course, the RTO Track Titan GT3 Season 7, sponsored by Track Titan, the easiest way to find out how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to other drivers on their leaderboards and even with your friends and community racers. And you too at home can get yourselves involved thanks to the sponsors Track Titan. Not only are first, second and third in all 3 splits, that is the ARMS, the silvers and the pros, will all be receiving subscriptions to the Track Titan service. You at home can benefit from a collaboration with RTO and Track Titan. Put RTO Titan in at the checkout at the Track Titan website, and you will receive yourself a 1 month free of the Plus service that they offer, and you'll receive 30% off the following month as well. So huge thank you to Track Titan for sponsoring the series, providing the prizes and discount offers for the viewers as well. I hope you're all enjoying the race. I will be, there we go, 1 livery sync if someone popped one in after there we go. So we'll get that loaded. We will have all the final livery on this as well. Excellent stuff. That's what we'll love to see. This is, as I mentioned, it is round number 3, as you can see from the calendar on screen. Originally, the ARMS had a race each, but it's now going to be 2 races an evening. So we've got Oulton Park next time out, as Sarah had mentioned. We've got Imola, Barcelona, the Red Bull Ring. Only ever so slightly excited, and really do need to remember to put that fancy compressor on my microphone. And Kailami also on the cards. So yeah, we will look forward to the rest of the season. So yeah, the ARMS, instead of having 1 race per evening, they will have the 2 races, and the second race this evening again, Sarah, will be at Indianapolis, of course. And we've already spoke briefly about the history, but it is a track you can wax lyrical for days and days on end with just everything that's gone on here over the past and indeed the future of the course as well.
It is indeed. So in addition to the Indianapolis 500 that I mentioned earlier, the Speedway also hosted NASCAR's Brickyard 400 from 1994 to 2020. The Speedway also hosted the United States Grand Prix for Formula One from 2000 to 2007. In 2008, the Speedway added the Indianapolis Motorcycle Grand Prix as well. In the 2005 Formula One Grand Prix, Michelin realised their tyres couldn't handle the banking at the circuit. They would fail after a few laps. So the cars that were using the Bridgestone tyres did not have any problems at all. The Michelin teams lined up on the starting grid, although when they drove around the track for a slow parade lap, at the end of the lap, most of them, if not all of them, pulled into the pits and parked their cars. This left only the 3 Bridgestone teams, 6 race cars in total, to run the race. The 2 Ferrari cars were the only cars on the lead lap at the end of the race. Another fact as well about F1, Michael Schumacher created history on September the 24th, 2000 by winning the inaugural F1 Grand Prix before a sellout crowd estimated at around 225,000 people. It marked the first time in IMS history that racing cars had travelled past the famous Yard of Bricks in a clockwise direction.
And again, I've just making some technical stuff happen in the background. Perfect. Yeah, but yeah, incredible track. It's been an incredible addition, along with, of course, quite a few American tracks. Watkins Glen, one of my all-time favourites for racing, it has to be said. But there we are. Now, sorry, Lindsay, very quickly, mate. Sorry, which livery was it that hadn't quite still updated that you'd said was what I can't? So we can just check. But yeah, I'm sure there was one you said that was working for you, and I've just updated. One's just updated. And I can't for the life of me remember which one it is. We will see, we will see, we will see. Yeah, it's race number 2, so what's going to happen is, or sorry, quali 2 that we'll be going into next. Yeah, so we'll go into another quali session. What will happen is as I've mentioned, the drivers. Oh, Sarah, sorry, you've already talked us through. Give us another quick rundown of how the ballast work, the gift that just keeps on giving during the races. You win the race. We'll add a bit of extra weight to your car. Congratulations.
Of course. So the top 3 from the previous race tonight will have a ballast going into this second race of this evening, which will go as follows: 30 kg for first place, 20 kg for second, and 10 kg for third. And then the top 3 from this race will have the ballast added to their cars next week at Alton Park.
So yeah, and that will continue on, of course, to the last race of the season. So the ballast is being added at the moment. Oh no, it's not. My apologies. I've reset. We're actually already into the qualifying. My apologies. I've completely missed the start of quali. There we go. We're already right into quali. Yeah, getting that reset. But the drivers haven't quite got a lap set yet. So we're going to see the flying laps coming in. 8 minutes for the silvers and the arms to get their time set, and then the pros will come out and they will get 8 minutes as well. It was supposed to be 10, slight oversight on the server, but as Joe himself said, he would like to make it a 1 lap shootout, which is definitely interesting times. How are you actually, Sarah? You do a fair bit of driving yourself. You're not too bad behind the wheel, it's safe to say. Instructor level, actually, IRL, so not too shabby. How do you personally find qualifying? Is it a nerve-wracking experience? Are you like me? Are you just making mistakes because you're trying too hard? Are you calm during quality? And how would you feel about the old 1 lap shootout format?
I've got to say, it's very track dependent for me. There's some tracks that I feel like I kind of know like the back of my hand, like Brands Hatch. It's a kind of track I always go to. I call it my second home, so I feel like I could do a 1 lap shootout around there. But say around Indianapolis, I wouldn't know where I'm going, what I'm doing, so I'd need a little bit of time behind the wheel to kind of, you know, get to grips with things. But it could be interesting. Could really see like the talent of the drivers only having 1 chance to set a good fast lap. But yeah, I think for me, very track dependent.
Yeah, But yeah, no, it's good to hear. So if you did have a bit of track knowledge, yeah, the one lap shout would be something that you'd be confident with. So yeah, that certainly speaks volumes. But look at how close that is up the top. There's a tenth of a second separating the top four. There's 8 thousandths separating the top two, 33 hundredths separating the top three, and a tenth separating the top four. Till Gasson has just come in and gone 2.5 tenths quicker up at the front. But those times, I hope somebody catches a screenshot from that from the stream there. A tenth separating the top four. That is incredibly close around a track of this length, as we are in the quali. Let's pop that back up. Apology. Get the full screen back up there. But yeah, again, Sarah, incredibly close as we're seeing Whitburn, who dropped down the order at the end of race number 1, already right back into the hunt, and 2 tenths off the back. Gasson with a great time. Wilson and Shogun there dueling out in the arms as well as they are in the championship.
Yeah, everyone is so closely matched. It's really good to see how closely matched all the drivers are. And I was just going to comment on Gasson. He seems to be having some more luck on his side this week as to what we've seen in previous races for him. So hoping that he has another good race. But yeah, even the AMs, obviously P6 with Wilson at the moment, all of them are setting great times, and excited to see how they can do in their second race.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how this goes. 2.5 mile track. Oh, Gasson with a big time. Whitburn replies very quickly, but Gasson now finds himself half a second ahead, and Shogun in the arms goes second overall.
Seems to be on fire today.
He really is. Shogun for silver, I think, will be the cry from most of the arms. But yeah, he is definitely looking good for this championship. As I say, he's got that first and second joint top at the moment by way of the drop round, but without the drop round he's actually 20 points clear, and it's easy to see why, as we see more times coming in from the arms and the silvers. McCord still looking to set a time in the session. He will be carrying that 20 kilograms. So we will have to adjust how he drives. And it does make it, again, just so much fascination through these formats, Sarah. It's all fine and well, yet the drivers get that the ballast for race number 2. But they've also got the ballast for the quali section, for quali as well. So you've just done quali, and then you do a race. You do really well, and as a thank you, you get 30 kilograms added to your car. You get maybe 1 lap in, and then you've got 8 minutes of qualifying with an extra 30 kilograms of ballast. So it's all fine and well to practice for a track, but to suddenly get that extra 30 kilograms, that's 30 bags of sugar for anyone trying to visualise that. So imagine getting 30 bags of sugar into carrier bags and suddenly picking them up and adding them to your marathon race. So yeah, it's and it just goes to show some of the drivers really adapt to that quite well. As Shogun with the 30 kilograms still absolutely mopping it up at the front, but it's definitely it's a whole different level of test for the drivers.
Yeah, like you say, the drivers can practice as much as they want to before a race, but when you get that additional ballast, sometimes the whole characteristics of a car can completely change from session to session with that added weight.
Yep, certainly the way it reacts under braking and under acceleration going to be massively different as we see more times flooding in. Facina for Libre Esports crosses the line. We're seeing the pros making their way out on track. Ryan McCord still out setting a time, in fact. No, he's not. He's stationary on track. So we'll jump on board with Watson. We'll have a look at the quali times for the arms and the silvers. And in the arms, it is Shogun, as you can see, despite the 30 kilograms of ballast, he's half a second ahead of Wilson in second. Wilson with the 20 kilograms of ballast So only a 10 kilogram difference in the ballast between Shogun and Wilson, but 4/10 of a second in time. Wilson 2/10 ahead of Woodcat, a cutie with that 10 kg starting in 4th, Latnik, Bond, Blythe and O'Neill 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th respectively in the split. In the silvers is the all-conquering Gasson. Are we going to see back-to-back wins in silvers and arms? Could we see it in the pros as well, actually? All 3 splits with the same winner in race 1 and 2. That would be quite the coming together. Buy a lottery ticket. Whitburn in 2nd, Pryor and Radzi on row 2. Priadko, McCord on row 3 for the silvers, with Facina and Fouquet on row 4. Fangero bringing up the rear of the silvers at 9th position, and as you can see that gets them 17th overall at the minute, with 7 pros still to qualify. And there we go, putting all that in perspective. And that is that's some drive by Gasson and Shogun there, Sarah. We were just talking about how difficult it can be to adapt to that 30 kilograms in ballast. I'm not sure Gasson and Shogun got that memo. They've taken top times in the splits, and in fact Shogun out qualifying all of the silvers as well, and getting closer to the silver leader than anyone else has managed to. So phenomenal drive by these two. Easy to put money on these two getting back-to-back wins tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, if we were betting, you'd be betting on those two at the moment. Like I said, Gasson, previous weeks we've seen him have no luck at all, but today seems to be his lucky day. Maybe he's found a track that kind of suits his driving style and everything's aligning for him today. But yeah, they seem to be in tune with their cars at the moment, even with that added weight to the car. They seem to know everything they need to know about the cars and setting great laps as per usual.
Yeah, they really are. And speaking of great laps, the unballast Jordan Watson and unballast Pro Championship leader Paul Sidlowski now find themselves ahead of the drivers that are carrying the ballast. Revzig 14th overall at the minute, so languishing down the field with 3.5 minutes left to go. Sidlowski in 2nd, but it is Jordan Blue BMW Watson with a 135.135, finds himself less than a 10th and a half ahead up at the top. There goes Watson. I did expect Page to do phenomenally well here. The Ferrari obviously not doing well at Indianapolis. It did get him a 4th place, so he's carrying no ballast, so should do well against the ballasted drivers. Oh, just to say that, Nergard and Sidlowski both go quicker than Jordan Watson. So RTO got the top 4 positions at the minute. And again, Sarah, we'll look at that time separating the 3 teammates. 73 hundredths separating the top 3. We've still got 3 minutes to go, but over a 2.5 mile track, that's 3 different cars as well, all German. But the Audi, the Mercedes and the BMW, 3/4 of a tenth separating 3 cars. Oh, yeah, let's say nice things about them.
Yeah, that's insanely close. I can imagine that they're all practicing together and giving each other tips as to where they can find the time. So yeah, to be that close to each other, that shows some good teamwork there.
It does, yeah. And Watson, Whitburn not to be outdone. They're only separated by 7 thousandths.
Yeah, it seems to be favouring the German cars today.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. The BMWs, the Mercedes and the Audis doing well. Although I'd imagine any car at the hands of Paul Sidlowski will do well. Incredible driver. Again, I did tip him at the start of the season. I said if he could win this championship without winning a race, don't be surprised. He won a race last week. He's bringing the heat. Oh, wow, Whitburn had pole position for a half a minute there, if even that, by 37 hundredths, and Sidlowski has just taken it straight back again by 2 tenths. Look at the time difference between Whitburn and Watson. 500, and Revsig's just gone 4th. Revzig has just gone 4th. That is Revzig, Watson and Whitburn separated by 1/3 of a tenth of a second. My brain can't compute how close this is. Page and Gasson on almost identical times. All the pros have got ahead of the silvers. So Gasson will start in 8th place, but this is just so close up at the top. You absolutely cannot call this. I don't even want to look at the deltas. We've seen 2 drivers green, 2 drivers red. Sidlowski is in the green. This is insanely close.
Yeah, setting up for another brilliant race, number 2 of this evening, considering how close they actually all are together.
Yeah, indeed, yeah, they're all still out on track. They're all finding time. Dan Watts could be a big mover here. He's only half a second off pole position, and he's carrying over half that at the minute. So too is Jordan Watson. Jordan Watson could be firing towards pole position. Here comes... Oh, that's Ben Nergard that's up on his time. There goes Dan Watts as well. So Dan Watts goes up to 3rd place temporarily, though. Or is it temporarily? Wow, look at the time. Oh, wow, Watson's gone quicker. Watson's gone quicker, but can't beat Sidlowski. Matt Whitburn is done. Sigurd Revzig's still out on track. He's just gone quicker and taken 2nd place by 0.07 of a second. My brain can't compute how close this is, as Ben Nergard could end up breaking all their hearts in the final few corners. He's still got his lap to finish. His delta is green. Sidlowski 7 thousandths ahead of Revzig, who is 5 thousandths ahead of Watson. Then you've got Whitburn and Watts, who have set exactly the same time. Yes, Watts and Whitburn, 1 minute 35.035. Both of them. Whitburn quicker at the 4th integer. No, Whitburn given 4th because he set the time first. The game, Real Life Motorsport, doesn't recognise the 4th integer. So it's whoever set the time first gets to hold on to that position. But Ben Nergard's going to set his time last. Is he going to take all the positions? If he brings home the time that he's carrying now, he is about to jump from 6th to someplace in the front row. Who knows? This is incredible. Out with the last corner and across the line, Ben Nergard clocks a time of... Oh wow, 1 minute 34.882 to put himself 72 hundredths of a pole position. Wow. Wow. Let me just compute that for a second. Paul Sidlowski with 2 purple sectors. Ben Nergard and Dan Watts set exactly the same time in sector 1 to share the purple sector. Revzig 7 thousandths behind, 62 hundredths behind is Watson, who's got 100th between himself and Nergard. Whitburn 2 tenths down with 30 kilograms of ballast on exactly the same time as Watts, who's got 20 kilograms of ballast, which means theoretically Whitburn went quicker because he's 10 kilograms heavier. Liam Page 7 tenths off the pace, but almost identical time to Gasson. Sarah, the talking points from the quali session there alone are absolutely off the charts. 700ths separating the top 4, and then 5th and 6th set exactly the same time. It's like me hitting the end of my dart last night. If somebody explained it to you, you wouldn't believe it without the video footage.
Yeah, and luckily we have the video footage to say how close these drivers all are to each other, and I think we could talk about it all night because it's insane how close they are together, and the gap between them all is relatively nothing.
It really is. It's absolutely mind-blowingly close between these drivers. These championships, I did talk about a scintillating Season 6, and there's a very, 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 very good reason for that. It was scintillating. It's all available on the RTO Esports YouTube. I was lucky enough to preside over them all, and I can't believe how lucky I am to be presiding over this season as well, because they've started where they left off. And yeah, Here we absolutely go again. Strap yourself in. This could be the one that kills Double O Raven. We will see. It's really incredible. I'm sure the haha there from Joey gets the dart reference there. I'll maybe share that video on RTO so you can all have a giggle. It was quite incredible what happened. You want to talk about close? That was close. Paul Sidlowski. Can he bring home a second race win? He would be the first driver, I believe, in the pros to do so this season. That would be an absolute marker. Oh, but here we go, Revzig. He is no slouch. Sarah's going to watch the arms. I'm going to watch the pros as they go flying into turn number 1, and it is secured. Revzig, wily campaign. I've got his nose in front, but here comes the Audi on the inside line. Look at how close the two of them get. Absolute precision driving from the top two. Third and fourth as well. Oh, there's a bit of a door ban there. Some wing mirror babies will be born after that. The Porsche tries to follow through. Ends up getting a bit unsettled there. The BMW Watson finds himself on the outside line. Ben Nergard could get hung out to dry as Matt Whitburn slides through the inside. Liam Page ballast free. He's got the BMW absolutely banged to rights as Gasson got left slightly standing. Of course, if Sarah's watching the AMP, she's going to be watching Shogun up in 9th. Right in the top 10 battle as well as Matt Whitburn. Oh, he's got himself ahead of Nergard. It's all changed up at the front. Liam Page has got himself ahead of Dan Watts. We've got Ben Nergard finds himself up in position as well. Paul Sidlowski is still leading the way, and he's done exactly what Watts did at the start of race number 1. Can Revzig come back as Whitburn did? Revzig in the Porsche finds himself ahead of Watson, Whitburn and Nergard. There we go. I'm used to saying Watson, Whitburn. But it is Nergard, then it is Watts, and then Liam Page is back behind Dan Watts, so they're all changing. Richard Gaston still leading the way in the silvers, and Shogun still leading the way in the arms, Sarah, but it does look like he's down a position to Priadko, I believe.
Yes, he is down a position to Priadko. He's fighting all the silvers around him currently. He's showing them that he's just as fast as them. Further back, we did have a little bit of a coming together for Woodcote and Whitburn, who are currently 23rd and 24th. Apart from that, all the AMs getting away nice and clean. Nice opening lap from all of them.
Yeah, just showing a quick replay of some of the AMs down the field. Big grids in the Blue County Lost, but you can see just how close they were there. Facina and McCord still chasing Wilson, so a solid battle for the final podium positions. You can see the battle going on ahead with their class leader Gasson. Raiden Shogun still very much in the mix, but he is behind Priadko now. We've got Sidlowski, who is leading the way. He's going to finish the lap. He started the race leader, Sigurd Revzig in second, Watson still third, then Whitburn, Nergard and Ben Watts has fended off the advances of Liam Page, who has vanished from my timing tower. He's down in 22nd position, Liam Page down in 22nd position. So let's see what happens. So he's in 7th place here then, coming into turn number 1. He's got a lot of space between himself and the rest of the field. The Ferrari, a little extra dab with the brakes there. It's almost like it's trying to kill him on the exit to the first corner. He's looking okay there. He's right on the edge as you would expect. Keeps it off the gravel there. Oh, the inside of the curve. He's gone full steering log to try and right it. And he's very nearly wiped out Raiden Shogun, taking a phenomenal avoiding action there. Liam Page all at sea trying to control the car, had very little control, then tries to right it. And there we go then. One of my tips for race number 2. And he is fallen at the first hurdle there. That inside curve massively rotating Page's Ferrari for him. And that is going to fend off any chances he's got of getting himself into the top 5 in the pros. A big loss for Page there, considering no ballast tonight. This really was a race where he could have got himself some very good points at a difficult track for the Ferrari. We'll find out exactly why. We've got Whitburn looking at the back of an RTO BMW, but this time it's Jordan Watson who is piling it. He's got Ben Nergard separating him from Dan Watts, his main podium race win protagonist in race number 1. Watson now feeling the type of pressure that his teammate did in race number 1, and that is all the pressure the BMW is getting at the minute. The McLaren, full fast and the furious sideways slide out with turn at number 11 there, but he does manage to hold it. He's not held the momentum. That's going to give Nergard a pretty good look. We've got some penalties coming in. Raji picking up a drive through. That's going to put McCord back onto the podium. Yeah, that'll put McCord back on the podium in the silvers. Brian Bond with a 10-second penalty being picked up as well. As we're on the rear spoiler of RTO's Jordan Watson. He's third place at the minute. His two teammates Revzik and Sidlowski up the road. But as you can see, Watson, Whitburn, Nergard, Watts, very little separating these four drivers, as they head across the start-finish line. Oh, and as Whitburn is running a little bit deep there, he's got a bit. We can see that McLaren is definitely better on the brakes around here than the BMW. As you can see, Watts mounting that curve and almost unsettling the car. He's still got Nergard, his teammate ahead of him. Nergard, of course, with no ballast. So you think he's going to be better positioned, but that McLaren is absolutely drawing. Look at the line that Watson has got there. Sidlowski, Watson having to leave the door open, and the McLaren, whether he leaves the door open or not, still finding a way to poke his nose up the inside. McCord could be looking to lose that podium then, actually, as Pryor gets to overtake that. So let's see. Oh, I breathed in there. I thought he was going into the back of him. Quickly, who is it I'm looking for? It's Pryor and McCord. Let's hopefully catch a replay of this. So yeah, let's see Stuart Pryor get an overtake in the silver class. So this is going to be for third place in silvers, given the driver ahead of them is going to be taking a drive-through penalty. The BMW showed the Aston to the outside line, what will be the inside line, on the way to turn number 1. And the Aston said, yep, thanks very much. Oh, McCord tried to come back at them there, almost opened out a bit too much on the corner exit, but they both survived. You can see the McLarens in the background. Acuti and Facina as well involved in an overtake. Acuti getting past Facina there, so there were two McLarens sorting their position as the Aston Martin of Pryor looking good to get third place, as Emmanuel Raji has entered the pits to serve his drive-through. It is still absolutely merciless out on track. How are things looking down at your end of the grid, Sarah? Anything interesting happening down there in the arms? I'd imagine quite a lot.
Yeah, I was keeping my eye on that Acuti, Facina, Wilson and Zlatnik group that seem to be forming, all quite close to each other. Like you say, Acuti getting that overtake on Facina done and pulling away. But Wilson and Zlatnik, they've been going at it for a few laps now.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, just seen a couple of Porsches come together there. That is Fouquet and Fangero, actually. The two of them had coming together in race number 1. And it looks like the two of them have lost a lot of time to the drivers behind. Nigel Woodcock and Brian Bond being gifted positions here, I believe. If David Blythe hasn't through the corner. Oh, and the Porsche on the inside slowed down as Nigel Woodcock almost getting the position taken. Another bit of contact there. Woodcock not quite able to find his way past. Bit of a concertina effect as Baz O'Neill gets dragged right back into this battle again. He's the driver with the VIP seat. That's Brian Bond that's been dropped by the wayside. No, he's not been dropped by the wayside, sorry. He did run a bit deep, but he's managed to get right back involved with this battle. So it's absolutely thick and fast right through the field as Watson, Nergard and Whitburn's all over the back of Watson. Right on the back of Watson, so there's a four-way battle going on there. There's also this four-way battle going on here. Brian Bond is going to lose all this position because he's got a 10-second penalty. Oh, and he's missed his brakes. He's almost taken Nigel Woodcock there. That is driver error, so Bond will redress the position. Little consolation, I'm sure, to Nigel Woodcock, but it's an ill wind that blows nobody some good, and it's Baz O'Neill up a position as we go back to the upper echelons of the field. Sidlowski leading the way with the fastest lap, 2 seconds ahead of Revzik, but then it's Watson, Whitburn, Nergard and Watts. Look at the battle and train that we've got. Watson, one of the few cars in this train that doesn't have ballast. Whitburn and Watts do have ballast. Nergard and Watson don't have ballast. Nergard looking the quicker of the two now. He really is pushing on that McLaren's buttons. trying to get that overtake done just as hard as Whitburn, but Whitburn could well be that 30 kg. You know what, I'm going to say it is the 30 kilograms. It's the only thing separating him for third place at the minute, because look how much quicker he is than Watson. Absolutely incredible driving by the both of them, just keeping the BMW at a nose width in front as they come onto the bank, and once again for a short trip as the McLaren tries to send it up the inside. He's found himself that room, he's got the move, he's got the outside line though. Can the BMW find the grip and the acceleration he needs? He holds on to it, he leaves enough room, but the McLaren right on the edge of the curve, but he does manage to take the position. What a series of corners, and not only that, Watson has lost so much time and momentum there. He could lose out positions to his teammates, as well as Watson's going to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. He's got the momentum, he's got the Mercedes on his inside, the BMW is going to have his nose in front as Whitburn watches all in his rear view mirror as Watts going to make the stick. He's thrown that up. That is a bit of a rookie move there by Watts at first glance, if I'm being honest. Sorry Dan, I'm going to jump straight on the first reaction train there, but that did look like he was right on that inside curve. You can see again as it was built up. I wish we could get further back. That was incredible driving by Matt Whitburn to get that position, and you can see what he can see with his rear spoiler. Team RTO 3 abreast into turn 1, but Watts is just too far on the inside, puts it on that inside curve, and the car you can see completely unsettled. He's in very little control there, and all that's done is drop himself and Nergard down and giving Richard Gasson a sniff at top 5 position. In fact, Gasson is going to get more than just a sniff. He's got himself ahead of Watson. Watson has dropped down massively there, third down to 7th. It is indeed at 7th, and Priadko, I'm sure he won't mind taking that position there as well, because he still wants the silver race win. That was a lot to take on board there. Paulson Losky is still racing. Incredible driving up the front again. The full highlights, we'll show highlights at the end of the broadcast, so please do make sure you stay about and watch them, and you can go back and watch the whole thing again as soon as we have finished the broadcast. What a race this is so far. How are things looking down to you, Sarah? We've got Facina and Zlatnik, we've got Woodcut and O'Neill, we've got Fangero and Fiquet in the Porsches. What's standing out to you at the minute?
Yeah, the 2 Porsches are constantly switching places. They seem to be quite closely matched. I'm just on board with O'Neill and Woodcut at the moment. They're getting very close to each other, and I've got to say I've been keeping an eye on the QT Wilson page, who is slowly making his way back through the pack, and Zlatnik, that little group there, they've been all closely matched, all going for some overtakes, and it's really good to see so far.
Yeah, so still overtaking potential right through the field would basically be a summation. What Sarah was just saying, because yeah, it's impossible to pick one battle and watch it, because you just don't know where it is going to all spring up again. As yeah, Chris Wilson and a QT, as Sarah mentioned, that is getting pretty close. As Page does get himself ahead of Wilson, so he's in the middle. It looks like it's going to be 2 for 2, as he is a lot quicker, and Daniel Zlatnik could find himself pouncing on this. We're going to use Forbidden Chase Cam just because it says hello Raven in the port. The port sounds amazing. That's not because it says hello, it's because the port sounds amazing. I'm going to use this camera. Definitely 100% the reason. Daniel Zlatnik looking very good in the port. Bit of a mistake by Wilson as he was being overtaken by Page. Page did make it 2 for 2 as Zlatnik looks to make it onto the podium. If he gets ahead of Wilson, that will be a podium. The returning AM champion. Certainly not having it his own way this time around in the Porsche. He is going to be made to work for it if he's going to bring home the AM Championship. Still got plenty of races to do so now. The AMs were on an 8-race season. They're now going to have a 14-race season. Yes, they are, because this is round 3. 2 races tonight, round 1. Yeah, so they'll have a 14-race season. So still plenty of time for Zlatnik to pick up the points later on, hopefully for his sake. Certainly he finds some more tracks that the Porsche enjoys a bit more. We've still got Woodcut looking for an overtake. In fact, he's just got it done. In fact, when I say he's just got it done, he's absolutely annihilated Fangero. Did you see that overtake there by any chance, Sarah? Woodcut on Fangero?
I didn't know. It looked like one of the Porsches, Fangero, did have a little bit of a an excursion off track. He was quite close to the other Porsche, and I think he went off track a little bit, which has brought him closer to Bond in the McLaren.
Right, okay, so Bond catching up in the McLaren as well. He does have that 10-second penalty, which is going to cost him hugely considering how close he is at the minute. Dan Watts, again, it's himself and Matt Whitburn battling for position. Ben Nergard being dropped by the wayside ever so slightly now as Gasson too dropping down on Nergard. Watson as well, big gap. He now finds himself with Arnaud Priadko, his nearest driver. Raiden Shogun, still absolutely flawless drive. He's in the top 10 overall and has only got 2 silvers ahead of him, and is ahead of one of the pros as well as Bond and Fingero swap positions once again. Oh, and the Porsche right on the back of the McLaren. No messing about on that corner exit. And how close is he going to get? Oh, he's thinking about that one. Let's jump back to Zlatnik and see how this one is going on. That's not Zlatnik, that's Daniel Zlatnik. There he is there. The Aston Martin ahead, just having a bit of a wiggle there. So we'll see how Zlatnik gets on. Watts within 6/10 of Whitburn still. Zlatnik and Wilson still battling away. Cutie looks like he's had a bit of a problem there. He's run wide, that's opened up the door. The Aston's going to have to go the long way around, which means the Porsche is going to follow him through. They're going to be side by side through the middle section of the track. They're going to be nose to tail. An absolute 3-long procession then as Zlatnik shows his hand early. Oh, the Aston's braked far too late there. He's really spun out badly there in the background. And that is a big mistake there by Wilson in the Aston Martin, and that has brought Zlatnik one position closer. This puts Zlatnik on the podium and within striking distance of second place. Alessandro Acuti now going to find himself under some serious Porsche pressure, with Matt Whitburn finding himself under some serious BMW pressure as these two go side by side into turn number 1. It's Watson, Whitburn reigniting their battle from race number 1 here in race 2. 30 and 20 kilograms of ballast respectively for the top two from race 1 here at round number 3, and they're going at it again. This time it is for third place, as first and second have absolutely checked out in this race. We're almost at the 20-minute mark, and Sidlowski and Revsik 3.5 seconds up the road. And in fact 6 seconds up the road from Whitburn. You can see Ben Nergard still very much in the hunt now actually. He's catching back up to his teammate ahead. These liveries really do look good from every angle. 7/10 of a second, you can see Watts pressing on Whitburn. He's going to be the third driver in the equation, and I often do say they are the best position. As we just saw there with Daniel Zlatnik, the door was opened as he followed one of the drivers through and found himself up that position. So Nergard, just hear that engine reverbing off the Indianapolis walls ahead into sector 3. Sidlowski flawless up at the front so far. Revsik second, Whitburn, Watts and Nergard the drivers on screen. Richard Gasson not too far down the road, leading the way still in the silvers as we watch these drivers into turn number 1. Zlatnik and the QT still having a phenomenal battle. They're only separated by 45 hundredths. Is that what you're watching at the minute, Sarah?
I am, yes. Zlatnik just got in front but has run wide, so that's going to cost him. He just overtook a QT on the straight there, but into turn 1 making a slight mistake, which brings him a little bit closer to a QT again. But yeah, a battle that's been brewing for quite a few laps between those two.
Yeah, it really has been, and it's it's going to continue for quite some time by the look of it. On board with Watts BMW, and you can see just how close he's getting to Whitburn. Better view from the Mercedes, because this is the view that he is looking at. Look at Nergard then. He can see this is 3rd, 4th and 5th all within half a second. What's really coming to contact with that curve. We saw what that can do to the Ferraris. Let's hope it doesn't do it to the BMWs if he keeps it up. Whitburn in the silvers looking to get himself involved. Acuti has been overtaken by Zlatnik, and Whitburn has just got his way past both of them. So yeah, Zlatan getting the move done thanks to Whitburn making his way back through. And there we go, third driver in the equation, the best position. Watts found himself on the outside line and losing momentum as Nergard in the Mercedes now climbs onto the rear splitter of his teammate. Sidlowski all the while increasing the gap between himself and Revsig, while increasing the gap also between Revsig and Whitburn. So this battle between these three drivers here doing everything they can, it seems, to aid the two drivers up ahead bring home the race win. Will we see a change in these podium positions though? We're seeing potential down there as well actually. Nigel Woodcock by the look of it getting the moves done on Facina, certainly trying to opening the corner up nicely, looking for that cup. Facina Wystep positions the car nicely. Let's jump on the rear spoiler, get a look at the Libre Esport livery. Looking very good as Woodcock looks to use as much momentum. He's had a much wider line there, so he's going to have a much better line as the head into turn number 1. You can hear Woodcock's Aston Martin along the outside. Will the McLaren be able to outbrake him? We've seen how good the McLaren is on the brake so far, but the Aston does manage to make that one stick. Very nice move there by Nigel Woodcock. Still in 5th place in the ARMS, but that gets him up to 17th overall, and does put him right on the back of Blythe in the Team Spartan, the Spartan Racing BMW. And this would be for position, and it would be for 4th. Blythe finds himself in at the minute. Woodcock looking to improve on his standings, and Watson looking to get past Priadko. We've still got mad battles going on up at the top as Dan Watts. Look at the run he's got on Whitburn out at the last corner. He gets himself the outside line into turn number 1. He's got his nose in front as the head in. Here comes Ben Nergard joining in as well. It's a good turn by Whitburn, took as much of a defensive line as he could. Oh, the BMW with 2 wheels on the gravel couldn't get the car rotated. The McLaren with 2 wheels on the gravel couldn't get the car rotated, and Ben Nergard wasn't sure which car to follow through there, pegged his hat on the wrong horse, couldn't quite get the position done, but it's Watts that does get the job done. He gets himself up into 3rd position. Whitburn in 4th, and Nergard most definitely in the hunt still for a podium position. That's Nergard, that's Whitburn. As you can see in that rear view mirror, so it's still changing there. Watson looking to get himself up to 7th overall. It won't be for points, it will just be for pride. With 3 minutes left to go again. Can't believe that's been 22 minutes of racing to go. And we've heard about 3 sentences from my sensational co-commentator Sarah Hockey with all the action that's going on. Another incredible race, Sarah. We've got 3 minutes left to go, so still plenty of time for the overtaking action. What is it you've got your eye on further down the field as we continue to watch Whitburn and Watts battle for P3 overall?
Yeah, I can't agree more. It's been another race yet filled with a lot of action. Currently I've got my eye on Blythe all the way down to Wilson. Again, the group form in there, they're all relatively close together. The Porsche is also joining the battle now. Like I say, all taking different sort of lines, trying to see where each other is braking. A lot of respect between the group, and I'm sure a lot of them are kind of getting ready, sizing up an overtake in the next few laps.
Yeah, because they're only going to have maybe 2 laps left, so yeah, eyeing up the opposition, looking to make it a last lap dash for position. Fangero is into the pits, unfortunately. Baz O'Neill, Brian Bond still running down the field as well. Apologies to the drivers further down. We've hardly seen some of these drivers down at the back. It's been thick and fast up at the front. Still thick and fast down here, actually, as Facina. Is that Fouquet? It is Fouquet, yes. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, that was one of the battles that you were just talking to me about, and that is still coming thick and fast down here as Fouquet. Wilson,
3 wide going into turn 1.
It is indeed, and they've got a 2 wide going into turn 1 ahead of them as well. It's formation stuff as Facina for Libre Esports looks to hold on. Oh, and the Aston Martin's come round, they've made contact, and Fouquet has sailed on through there, but that is Facina and Wilson making contact. Unfortunately, that was a great battle between those drivers so far there, Sarah, and just unfortunately into turn number 1, They get caught, not quite enough room, and the arms coming together and facing the wrong way there, unfortunately.
Yeah, not what obviously the drivers intend to do on the last lap, but yeah, unfortunately coming together a little bit into turn number 1. Unfortunate to see, but it's been a great race for both of them.
It really has, and I've just realised that you weren't able to see the race from my perspective for that whole thing, so well done for keeping up with everything. I've just put it on for you there, my apologies. But the leader is on the last lap. He's had very little camera time. We've barely seen that beautiful livery of his that's on the Audi, not the BMW Revs. With Sadlowski, he's taken the purple lap and he's taken absolutely no prisoners whatsoever. The Pro Championship leader, 15 laps into the 6.3 seconds up the road ahead of Revzig, Watts, Whitburn and Nergard. Is Nergard going to finish ahead of Whitburn? That is another potential overtake, but we'll make sure we catch Sadlowski crossing the line definitely this time. We very nearly missed his first ever win in the pros for RTO, and he's going to bring home another race win, a second win in the series. I tipped him to do well this series, and he really has run with that. Anyone that backed him at the bookies, you're looking good. Paul Sadlowski for Team RTO. That was a joke, by the way. There's no betting on these. That was just simply a joke. Don't gamble. It's bad for you. Paul Sadlowski, RTO, bringing home the checkered flag. Sigurd Revzig in the Porsche, doing phenomenally well to bring home second. Dan Watson third. Whitburn did finish ahead of Nergard 4th and 5th, and Richard Gasson back-to-back wins in the silvers. And speaking of back-to-back wins, Raiden Shogun crosses the line in the Mercedes to do just that. 9th place overall for Shogun. That is an absolutely phenomenal drive. As Nige Woodcock finishing off his race as well. Liam Page crosses the line. Pryor did manage to get himself on to the podium. Drivers right up and down the field finishing the race. There is Paul giving us some after race fireworks. Can we get some donuts please, Paul, if you don't mind? I'm not sure you're listening to the stream. Hopefully yes. If we can get some donuts please, Paul, that would be phenomenal. Thank you very much. Revzig and Watts first, second and third. RTO trio. The RTO 2, is it now the RTO 3? Or the RTO 2 being done by the RTO 1? Paul Sadlowski, another race win with Revzig and Watts following on. Whitburn and Nergard 4th and 5th. Page Watson, sorry, in 6th, Page in 7th, and then it is Gasson, Priadko and Pryor on the silver podium. And in the arms, it was Shogun, Zlatnik and Acuity. A phenomenal race again, Sarah, and it really looked good for the championship. Zlatnik might be struggling a bit in quali, but he's bringing home the race results. Paul Sadlowski, freshly promoted from the silvers, he's getting it done in the pros and right through the field. Phenomenal battles. Yep, another 12 races of this. Yes, please.
Yeah, things are heating up across the board for all categories, so if anything, it makes the rest of the season more exciting.
Yeah, it really does. We'll get the... We'll quickly bring up the results just to confirm. There we go. Shogun, Zlatnik, Acuity, Woodkip, Blythe, Wilson, O'Neill and Bond in the arms. Shogun with 30 kilograms of ballast. Oh, that's gone. But yeah, the... oh, no. The race results will be available. We'll get the Discord and SimGrid link shared in the chat. Thank you very much, Mr. Joe Boyle. He runs all the servers in the background, puts all the ballast on, keeps everything running in the chat as well. The man is an absolute legend. And you can join him on his sim racing adventures over on Twitch. So make sure you do follow Linksy. He's going to share his own Twitch link in the chat as well. So do make sure you jump over there and give Linksy a follow. You can still sign up to the league as well. Still spaces available. And still 12 races to go. So still plenty of tarmac to be covered. Oulton Park, Imola, Barcelona, then the Red Bull Ring, and then Kyalami. So yeah, still an incredible calendar of races ahead. Thank you to everyone in the chat, by the way. I haven't looked at the chat for the whole of the second race. You could probably tell why. Absolutely incredible races over the piece. And as I'm sure Sarah would agree, the drivers really do live up to the hype. The ARMS now on track with the pros and the silvers, but if anything, it's maybe enhancing the series now because of the amount of action that we're seeing right through the field, right through all the races.
Yeah, could not agree more. The podium for the AMS definitely, I think Shogun, Zlatnik and Nakuti just showing how it can be done, fighting with the silvers and the pros. And if they can carry on doing that throughout the season, they're going to be on for some really good results and proving their worth for maybe a kind of up into the silvers for next season.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. Certainly would not disagree with that. Thank you again to the sponsors as well. Track Titan, the easiest way to find how to cut your lap times and see visually where you can improve to other drivers on their leaderboards or even your friends and community racers, thanks to the generosity of the sponsors. Third place in all 3 championships will receive a 1-month Track Titan Plus subscription. Second place in each championship will receive a 6-month Track Titan Plus membership, and the winner of each of the categories, ARMS, Silvers and Pros, will all receive an annual Plus membership. And you, the viewers, as well, can get yourself a 1-month free Plus subscription and 30% off your following month if you use the code RTO Titan at the checkout. So massive thank you to the sponsors as well. Get yourself over to their website, enjoy the discount, and get yourself the telemetry you need to get yourself faster out on track. That is all we have time for this evening. We've got plenty of highlights coming your way. I will line them up at the moment, so do enjoy those. Sarah and I will be back next week for round number 4 again. The same format, it will be all 3 splits out on track. Taking part in 2 25-minute races with 10 minutes qualifying each before the races. That's February the 8th. Then it is a bit of a break. We've got the week of February the 14th off, back on February the 22nd for Imola. Again, huge thanks as well to everyone that's followed and subscribed to the YouTube channel. Phenomenal to see everyone getting behind the organisation that RTO and Linksay puts together. So yeah, thank you to everyone with the numbers. Thanks to everyone that subscribed. And we will see you all again next week. But until then, it is good night from Miss Sarah Hockey.
Good night.
And it is a good night from me, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Until next week, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.